it's no big deal that you can't see. Well, you can see my face actually. You can just see the whole stream like.
But I can see your face still.
Oh, okay, that's good. Alright, no worries. Well, not if I do that, because I usually have the chat on. I'll have you covered.
Okay, now...
That's alright, I'll do that.
Alright, whatever sound works.
Whatever, I mean, so long as we get, like, a clean, a clean, recording, and I can put it online, then it's not a big issue. It's just, making sure everything's working, and we're all good. We've got 10 minutes to go. Also, it's interesting, I keep saying this to everyone every time I interview them, but same thing applies. It's just really strange to know that everyone knows my face and my voice. And then I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, I've seen you like hundreds of times. But like, you know, this is the first time seeing you or talking to you on camera, and it's kind of like, I don't know. It's awkward because it's like, you know my face and my voice, but I've like never heard you or seen you before. So, yeah. Right, let's just
I think it was like you that said that you had a friend that looked very similar to me when you looked at my picture years back.
Oh, let me think. Which picture was it?
Oh, I don't know, man. I was probably like 17 or 18. I probably don't have that picture anymore.
Yeah, whatever. At a younger time. Yeah, I don't know, the one that you've currently got up on Facebook, you look... I don't know, like, you look similar to someone, but I've forgotten who now. Like, that was years ago.
We're Asian, we look similar to everybody.
We all look the same. Actually, funny story. I got a funny story for you before we start today. When I went to uni today to get enrolled and stuff, I went to the student services, and I was like, oh, hey, I'm looking to get enrolled. And they're like, oh, okay, well, all you have to do is go to this building. And I was like, oh, no worries, awesome. And it's pretty obvious from my accent, but I'm from Australia, right? They sent me to the fucking international desk, which is like, there was a massive line.
Wait a minute, where is this located? Like,
right?
Why are they sending you to like the international desk? Because of your skin?
International, go there. And I came back, I'm like,
oh dude,
guys.
I've had that experience before. Like, I walk in at a restaurant, they're like, are you an international student? I'm like, you couldn't tell from my accent? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I kind of have to get used to it. I mean, that was the first time it's happened to me personally, and I live in a pretty white town. Like, 95% of the population, 90% is like all white. So I guess they don't know what to do when like a minority comes in.
Yeah, they probably flip the fuck out. Who knows?
Yeah, that's why I spent all this money on diversity. Like, seriously, my uni spends like a ton on diversity. I should have asked you before, are we allowed to swear? Yes, no?
Try and keep it PG. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I had to catch myself right there because I was gonna say something. I'm like, wait a minute,
it's okay to say the occasional swear. That's fine. Like, I just don't want what happened in the first kind of colloquium where there was F-bombs left, right, and center. To the point where someone's mum commented that she didn't like her son listening to these delinquents talking about this trash game. Like, oh man, you guys.
That's really funny to me. I'm sorry, but.
So yeah,
I mean, I guess it's hard
fine.
for...
You can say shit, like, it's fine. I don't mind. It's just, don't say fuck after every fourth word. Otherwise, yeah, we get in trouble.
I won't do that, I promise.
Remember, we got kiddies watching this channel. Well, might be
Alright then, we got kiddies playing 2DX. I never thought I'd see the day, but I mean, it happened.
I mean, you've seen, what's his name? Mark Mosier's daughter is playing 2DX. She's like 6. She's already clearing like 4.
What?
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
The guy's daughter, he's apparently massively into 2DX. Like, she loves it. It's her favorite video game. So, yeah.
Wow, well, I'm kind of speechless, to be honest.
No, I was like, awesome. It's really cool. Like, training up the next generation. She's gonna be a beast. She's gonna like come into someone's dorm room.
Yeah, man. I'm scared. I mean,
game, and then she'll just be like, "Yeah, I may have played it once or twice. Just destroy them." It's gonna be great. videos. So yeah, we've still got 5 minutes till we have to start, so don't fret. Is there anyone in chat?
So everyone else is just listening to us like just talk about random things.
About university and racism and mods. And yeah, this is a great TDX discussion right now. So people in chat, I just want to check a sound check real quick. If you could tell me if there's any sound issues now, that'd be really good, because obviously I don't want to start the interview, get 20 minutes in, and then just find out that everything's fucked, like I've done so many times. Actually, VELIUS, can you check? I don't know, like you've got it. Can you check to see that the sound's alright? Because I can't, because if I play it, it'll revert through and it'll break the whole stream. So just...
Alright, what hitbox /4?
Darks.
Okay. 1 second, sir.
You should turn your voice. Okay, so my mic's a little bit soft. I might have to wear it. I don't like doing this, but all right. I'll wear my headphones. That should do it. I should be louder now. Can you hear me fine now?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Okay, no, it's just the chat. Yeah, the music is too loud. There we go. So those are the little things that I need to check with people before I start. Okay, that should be better. All right, so music's down a little bit. My volume's up. We should be good to go, I think. Oh, and you're in the chat too. That's good. Alright, so you can read the chat and see. So, you know the layout.
I'm loading the stream still, sorry.
That's alright. It should be fine now. I mean, I've taken all the feedback and stuff, so... No problem, I think. So we've still got 2 minutes.
So we're good?
Yeah, I think we're alright. I think? Yeah, everyone said it was good now. It's just, I don't like wearing these headphones because they make me itchy in the back of the neck. I don't know what it is about them, but they're just, yeah... kind of frustrating. Plus, I think I look like a tool when I'm wearing headphones around my neck.
I mean, I've been wearing headphones all my life, so I guess I'm just used to it.
Yeah, no, I'm not used to it, so... Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'm also really happy with how the stream layout's looking. That's pretty cool. I'm actually happy with how it came out. Like, you got the logo, and you got your face, and you got, like, the player cam going as well. It's just, yeah, it's sweet.
Like... videos that are greatly outdated now.
Oh, they're extremely dated, but hey, they still hold up very well. Like, those scores you've got. Like, I think that ICE score you got years ago, like, I only just tied that. And I got, like, the best random in the world to do it, too. So...
You mean the one I have on video?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure your score's higher than that as well, which is just disgusting. So,
yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I've done better than that. Yeah. I mean, I remember double A-ing it on non-random with Hormon.
That's disgusting. Please don't do that. I can't do that.
Oh my god, I know, I was like thinking to myself, like, that sounds very wrong.
That's crazy good. Like, you don't realize, like, even to this day, that's better than like 90% of the players. Like 90% of the ranking players at the moment. Like, the only people who can probably do that at the moment are Derek, Matt, and probably Jason, but I don't know about Jason. Jason's a bit of an enigma. It's hard to tell with that guy.
Yeah, well, Jason, he was coming up when I was on my way out.
Oh, really?
I remember hearing of his scores, yes. I remember him.
Yeah, he's really good now. Like, he's probably top 5 in like the American rankings at the moment, so... I don't know, like...
That doesn't surprise me at all.
He's, the thing is, he's pretty inconsistent. Like, on easier stuff, he's nowhere near as good as he is on dense stuff. Like, his strength is definitely his density. Like, he's just insanely good.
You know, it was the opposite for me at one point. Like, I was really good at the easy songs, but bad at the dense stuff. But now, it's like, I'm good at the dense stuff, but I'm bad at the easy stuff now, because it's all I played, right?
Yeah. It all depends on what you put your time into, honestly. Like, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think, definitely. But, I guess we're gonna start soon then, because I mean, I was gonna talk more, but I was like, well, we have.
Yeah, we should probably save it for the interview, right? Well, I mean, fuck it, it's smack bang on 9 their time, so I guess we should get started. So I'll do my usual intro. G'day everyone, DJ DARQs here, back with another 2DX interview. Today we've got someone pretty exciting who has actually been requested a few times, but I just never got round to interviewing because, well, we weren't in contact until now. And, yeah, no, it's really exciting to have this opportunity. This player became very well known during the darker days of Solid State Squad, where the community was on a decline, and he sort of kept things going for a while. And for that reason, he's quite well known with some of the older players. But we'll save that for the interview. I wanted to introduce DJ VELIUS. Say hi, VELIUS.
Hello, everybody. What's up? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Don't know why you guys want to talk to me, but I'm here.
Well, people do want to hear from you, definitely. So, why don't you give us a bit of background about yourself? Just basic introduction stuff, you know.
Like how I started with 2DX?
No, just where you're from and what you're up to and that sort of stuff.
Okay, well, I'm from, like, the Midwest area, like, Chicago suburbs.
Uh-huh.
Most people know that area as, like, you know, the mecca of dancing games. The Midwest is, like, one of, like, the super strong areas of dancing games, I'd say. Like, we had some of the best players there at the time. So, I mean, like, people like me, like, you know, people who played other games, they were, like, overlooked for the most part. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's why most people like didn't really know that much about me, because everyone was focused on like the coastal areas. It's like with C-Star player, he's like from North Dakota. That's like in the US, that's like middle of nowhere. I guess you could say that for me. I'm from the middle of nowhere, so I could only play CS. I never had an arcade scene.
Okay, well,
and,
let's
for that reason.
I guess we'll move on to that then. So, like, how did you start playing 2DX? Like, what? Seeing as you're in the middle of nowhere,
I start?
How did you get exposed to the game?
How did I get exposed to the game? Well, it started with DDR, like every other player, right?
Yep.
I was introduced. I saw DDR when I was 12. I started playing it. You know, I really enjoyed it, and then I started to listen to more of the songs from DDR, and I discovered that all the songs that I enjoyed were from a game called 2DX. They weren't originally from DDR.
Yeah.
Like, I was really, when I was 13 or something, my favorite songs were A and Sakura.
Oh,
you know, very stereotypical 13-year-old songs.
Of course,
13-year-old. You know, so.
I was the same,
I mean,
don't worry. I remember hearing V and being like, oh my god, V!
Like V and Kakume and all those songs. Yeah, so I basically, you know, I looked up pictures of the game, you know, I saw the cab and I was like, wow, this game looks really awesome. And I thought at the time, like, because I was really dumb and I was really overweight, I was like, this game should be easy because I'm not using my feet, I don't have to move, I just use my hands to hit the notes.
Yeah, easy.
Well, I was wrong. I was really wrong about that.
Alright, so what did you do from there? Did you pick up the CS styles, like the early styles, or did you have a friend who had it, or something like that?
Well, someone brought the game to a DDR tournament for people to play while they were waiting for their matches, and I guess at the time, 8-style CS was new. So that was my first style to play.
I see.
And then I was like, I really like this game, I'm gonna get it for Christmas. So I got a controller and 8-style, and my PS2 was already modded, so yeah.
Oh, great. So you were ready to go. So, yeah, that's really interesting because, like, when I started the game, I had to play on shitty simulators for, like, 3 years until I could actually, like, afford to get my PlayStation modded and afford to import the games and afford the controller. So it was just like, oh, man, so much stuff that I had to do prior, but...
Yeah.
No, you're lucky.
PS2 was already Extreme CS, the Japanese version, so I guess that's my PS2 was already modded. But yeah, I was 14 when that happened. December 25th, 2004. So that was officially 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
I'm old.
10 years playing the game. So so 8th style was your first style?
Yes, I was.
Ah, very good. Very, very good. I liked 8 CS a lot, actually. It was really, really good. Had some really good tracks in it. So was it just you? Did you just sort of play on your own, or did you have friends in the area who also played and you could, like, talk with about the game?
Well, at first it was me and my brother, right?
Yeah.
And then my brother was starting to go out more to the arcade because I was really young. He was old enough to drive. He found one other person who was actually pretty good at the game at the time, I'd say, who also played it on the side. Like, In the Groove was the big thing back then, and he also played 2DX on the side. And you could, like, do things like pass 10s on the Happy Sky scale. I mean, I think at the time there wasn't
there wasn't a scale,
like,
it was just like 8s, and that's it. It's just like,
yeah, it was
1, 2,
just
3, 4, 5, 7, 8.
You could do
Stop.
I was just, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, so he was like a big motivator for you to keep improving at that time, or what?
Well, I mean, like, yes, yeah, he was, I'd say so. Like, around, like, 2006-ish or so.
Yeah.
And then, like, there was also another player that it motivated me was when I was at this anime convention called ASEN. It was in 2006, and I saw this guy who played Innocent Walls, and he cleared it with an A on another, and I was just like, holy crap.
Yeah, yeah.
Who is this guy? And I found out, like, he's just this dude who never posted on the forums at all. He was just some guy who just played the game, and he lived in Chicago, apparently. He just didn't post his scores at all, and didn't talk about him with anybody. He was still really good.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, did you... sorry, keep going.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, even, like, years later, like, it wasn't until, like, a year or two later where we finally, like, started talking, like, formally, and then we started, like, exchanging rival data.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. So I'm just curious, did you always post on forums when you started playing, or did you sort of find out about them through people?
Well, at the time, I was still posting on this DDR forum called Aaron in Japan. I was really into DDR, you know, dancing games in general, so I'd always want to follow the top players, even though I didn't really get a chance to play DDR, mostly because I didn't get a chance to go to the arcades, but, you know, I'd play TDX, you know, I'd follow them, and I think I always knew about VJ Army, but I never wanted to post there, until I got my first AAA. So my join date is when I got my first AAA.
Oh, that's really interesting. What was your first AAA then?
511 L7, like everybody.
Actually,
during that time period.
Yeah, well, not me, which is kind of funny. My progression was really weird though, so... Yeah, no, I never AAA'd a Light 7. My first AAA was in another, so... Yeah...
Wow, you're weird, man. I don't know what to say.
I played on some really weird, shitty timing windows, so... Yeah, what can I say? Alright, so you got your first AAA and then you joined up. And I'm guessing, so from there, did you get involved with the community? Did you start sort of meeting players through VJ Army?
Well, kind of. Like, I'd go there and post occasionally. I'd usually just go there to, like, look at what scores people were getting and, like, some strategies, but I had, like, these online group of friends that I would talk to that I knew from AIJ, Aaron in Japan. They were on my skill level at the time when I was a noob, so I'd usually just talk with them mostly.
Yeah.
And I'd rival with them about, you know, improving scores.
Oh, okay. So you actually had like a close-knit group of people. Are they still playing now? Or have they quit?
No, they don't actually, I'm afraid. Like, they all, like, got busy, you know, with their real lives, you know, 9 to 5s, and...
Yeah.
There was a point where, like, we were all really close in skill level, and then, you know, one of them, like, kind of doesn't play anymore, and then the other one, I'm afraid, I just started, like, reaching those high scores. Like, I was improving really fast for some reason.
Whereas he wasn't.
It's like
he sort of stagnated and you went past him. And...
Yeah, unfortunately. And
did you guys stop talking after that, or what?
Yeah. He's like, I wonder why, and I just tell him, like, you're too busy with your real life, man.
Gotta be young, have all that free time to, like, get those AAAs. It's really interesting. Do you remember a player named CRH?
CRH, yes, I do remember him. He was the guy who played piano.
Yeah.
And he would kind of brag about it a little bit. Like, he's like, yes, I play piano as well as 2DX.
And that's why I'm so good and all that. Yeah, I started talking to him online, and same thing. Like, when I started beating his scores, he started getting really salty, and he just stopped talking to me, because he was like, well, you're playing on random, so it doesn't count. Like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Like, random doesn't count.
Anytime people bring him up, he's just like, yeah, I remember him. He was kind of a dick, wasn't he? He's like, yeah.
He was pretty
kinda.
young. I mean, come on, he was what, like 14?
We were all really young back then, so you have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no. So, give me an age range. So, 2006, how old were you around then?
I was around 15, 16.
Oh, okay.
My birthday's in September, so I'll say I was 15 for most of that time.
Okay, yeah. No, because that's when I graduated high school, and that's when I started getting much better at the game, because I had all the free time in the world. So tell me about VJ Army. Like, I want to know, because obviously this is... I'm trying to lead into Solid State Squad, but yeah, so VJ Army community, obviously you said you didn't really post there much. When did you start getting more involved with VJ Army and its community?
Well, I guess it's been long enough that we can kind of talk about it, but
yeah,
I guess around like 2007-ish or so, like when I started to get much better at the game, where it's like, okay, I probably shouldn't be posting my scores on a DDR-only forum, right? Yeah. But at the time, there was also some beef between like me and Oni. Like, I don't even remember the specifics because it was that long ago, but apparently I really pissed him off, and he would like, you know, post a bunch of insults and flames at me, and you know, so he'd get his old circle jerk on VJ Army against me.
It's Oni. Like, he's got beef with lots of people, don't worry, it's not just you.
Yeah, but this was all at the time. This was like years back. I mean, we're cool now, right? But it took a bit till we, you know, before relations like, you know, got better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess it was because of that, you know, because of like the toxic nature at the time. I didn't really get too involved with the community.
And this is still with DJ, right? Yeah.
Later. I mean, I just posted scores and that was it.
Yeah, I was very much the same back then.
And I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure back then I said some stupid stuff as well. I mean, we were all kids. Yeah, that's the one thing I think to myself. So I mean, like, I'm pretty sure some of the things I did, like, I might have deserved, you know, the flag.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I never got really involved in talking to people at VJ Army, just because, once again, as you said, it was a difficult community to get into. Not only with, like, the people, but also just with the attitude. Because 2DX was a very closed game. Like, you know, people like Rai were very secretive. People like Charlo were very secretive. Like, and once again, just with the school mentality and stuff as well, like how that started to shape, you know. People would only put their one extremely good score up and things like that. Which I really hated. Like, I hated that mentality that people had. And, you know, I tried to go against that. Like, I'd always post all of my scores because I didn't want to be that way. I was like, no, I want to have my flaws there for people to see so I can improve. But obviously, you know, they didn't hold the same.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I think, like, I'd like to say, like, during that time period, people were way too concerned with, like, their own egos.
Yeah.
During that time period, I'd say. Like, when I look back, I was like, dude, it's all just a game. Why are we taking this so seriously? It's not the end of the world if someone has, like, a higher score than you, you know? Exactly. It's not like there's money on the line.
There's no money matching
like,
in 2DX.
Yeah, you could make the argument, like, well, if there was money on the line, there's, like, technically a reason to privatize your scores, but I mean,
of course. But
at the end of the day, it's all a game. It's like, it seems like these people, like, took their egos too seriously and just forgot about that aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Anyways, so we'll move on from VJ Army because obviously, once again, as you said, you weren't too involved, I wasn't too involved. There's not much we can really discuss on that. But the closing of VJ Army brought forth Solid State Squad, which is run, obviously, you know, by Zythar, who tried to keep the community going and keep that score tracking available. But this was also around the time when Empress CS came out, right? And I remember around this time, you were getting extremely good. I was on a bit of a decline. You tried to rival me. I was like, yeah, man, I'll try and put some scores in. And then I just never did it. And you're like, fucking hell, Darks, like, stop being a lazy bastard and put scores in. But I never did it. And then, obviously, you got past me in terms of skill. Yeah, tell me about that time and, like, that era when things started to sort of change. Like, obviously, CS was on a decline.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, did you just keep improving?
You mean when I started to get really good?
Yeah. Like, so what happened? Did you just keep
My
playing?
bad. My headphones, I accidentally unplugged them.
That's okay.
Well, There's kind of an interesting story actually, because it was around like 2007-ish.
Yeah.
I was trying to AAA Absolute Hyper or 7K, and I couldn't do it. It was on Happy Sky CS, and I threw my controller against the Wii and broke my KOC.
Oh no.
And I didn't play the game for months until this guy I know from AIJ named Nick X. He was actually a really good DDR player. He won.
He was pretty good at 2DX
Rocky
too.
Mount.
Yeah, he was good at 2DX
Yeah,
as
he
well.
was as well. And then he called me actually because he had my cell phone number, and he's like, "Dude, you were actually pretty good, man. Why'd you stop playing?" And then that gave me the motivation to go back and play. So it's like, well, anybody could be good at the game at any point and any time. It's just like, but if you quit, you'll never get any better. It's like DVA, which is like Washington, D.C. area. We got into a really interesting discussion about a lot of things.
That was one of the ones that I read because, as you know, I ended up in the exact same area, in the exact same apartment that he was in 3 years later.
What? No way!
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
And I ended up meeting the exact same players that he met, and they all remembered him. And, and I ended up playing... Yep. And I ended up playing with them for 2 years. Like, I know them very well now. So, JDR, Ox, Zeno, Cray, all those kids, yeah, no, I know them. So, that's why I was really interested to go back and read that interview.
Crap.
So, yeah.
That's, oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, so, going down the list, alright, so I interviewed Batfly from Sweden. He's not around anymore, but he was the guy who got me into BMSs and introduced me to BMSs, so I figured I'd get what he wanted to say about the game. My idea for picking participants out was like, okay, what makes this participant unique from the rest of the other unique participants? Like, you couldn't just be like, okay, you're just a great player, blah, 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 There's something interesting, like, I could just bring up about what makes that player interesting, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I also got Linus, DJ Y, from Hong Kong. And I wanted to get an up-and-comer, so I got Paizo from NorCal. I don't think he's around anymore.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah. Taizo, and then...
Oh, no, Taizo was around. Taizo, he's quit recently, but he was around for ages. And
he's around.
He was really good.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he almost full combo Quell during, like, the Cirrus days, the Linkle days.
He did get it on video, like, multiple times. And he got Steel Needle Black too, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was really ridiculous. And I actually interviewed Derek. Can't forget him.
Oh yeah, no. I also did.
I interviewed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I did a video interview with him. I don't know if you saw it or not, but.
Yeah, I saw it actually. Okay. I listened to all of it. It's a shame that he has that coconut internet, man.
Yeah, the coconut internet.
I wanted to hear the rest of the story about
Dane's son. The Dane's son.
The most interesting I've heard in years.
I know, it was hilarious. And I've actually learnt more about Dane's son in the past couple of weeks as well. He's such a character, and I kind of wish he was still around, because... Oh man, like all the jokes from VJ Army, because just in case you guys didn't know, Dane's son got brought up in every like third post on VJ Army. And I was always like, why the fuck are people talking about Dane's son? Like, I don't understand this. So Derek explaining that, like, through the interview was really, really good. Like, I was glad that he did that, because now I was like, oh, all those jokes make sense now. But goddamn, that kid, man, so funny.
Dane's son. Anyway, the sixth guy I interviewed before, I got way too busy with life to continue doing them was actually DJ Hood.
DJ who, sorry? Hood! Oh, you actually managed to get
DJ Hood.
That's really good that you got Hood. I've actually requested him to do one of these kinds of interviews, and he's actually declined it multiple times, just saying, no, I'm not very good at speaking. So once again, the format...
Really?
Yeah, the format matters.
I mean... Yeah, I guess that's why he agreed to it, didn't he? Because, he could take all that time, to type, I mean, there's nothing wrong against that,
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people have, like, a phobia about public speaking. It's like people are legitimately frightened about it.
But the thing is, I mean, when you watch the interviews, it's not me picking your brain, it's not me intimidating you. We're just sitting and chatting about 2DX. Like if we met face to face.
Yeah, it's very... very relaxed, I'd say.
Yeah, you don't
I don't
have to
feel
put-
like I don't feel any pressure.
No pressure, man. You just like
Yeah.
helped save the 2DS community during a very difficult time. I mean, yeah, like nothing big. Anyway, so why did you stop the interview series? I'm curious because I mean, obviously mine's still going even after a year, which I'm amazed by. But what stops you?
Yeah, I'm pretty amazed by that. Well, I was getting ready to go for a study abroad program, right? I was gonna go actually study abroad in China.
Oh, okay.
So I was really busy, like, trying to prepare for that. And I had, like, a couple more interviews prepared. I was gonna interview Chicken Snack.
Yeah.
And then the last one, I was gonna interview Shala.
Ooh, Charlotte would have been amazing. And I'm really sad you didn't actually get around to doing that one. Cause...
That's why I feel so disappointed with myself after all these years. And then it's just like, I forgot about them. You know, the interviews, I just, like, went about my day, you know.
Yeah. But you don't realize how influential those interviews were. Like, people to this day still go back and go, oh, VELIUS' 2DX interview series, like, it's a big thing. Like, people really knew about them.
I didn't really realize that. I was just like, you know, I just thought about, you know, it's just this thing I did, you know. Let's see how it goes.
Same thing with me. I mean, like, a lot of people said to me, because I started making a lot more YouTube videos while I was in Japan, same thing, like, you know, VELIUS' interview series was really good, you should try and keep that going. And yeah, like, you motivated me to do this series, which you're now a part of, funnily enough, which is, you know, really good to see. So, it's all you, man.
I guess, yeah, but you kept it going, man. I guess man. I guess, like, I started something good, didn't I?
No, you certainly did. And, like, I think a lot of people really do appreciate the time that you took out to do those sorts of things. Like, it might seem little to you, but it's actually made a big impact on the community at the time. As you said, the time was right to do it. And you sort of, like, you brought a lot to light that people didn't realise. But, I mean, okay, interesting topic. VJ Army Solid State Squad versus International 2DX, online machines in America, round 1 in America, just the generation gap. What do you think about the way that the game's evolved over, like, the past 3 years?
I have to actually think about this one. Well, I'm really happy that, you know, how the game has progressed over the years. Like, I'm really glad that, you know, people aren't privatizing scores anymore. Like, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just, you have to, everything's live, so...
You have to keep everything open. And then we have all of this information now. Like, people are so much more, like, willing to share information about the game, you know, talk about, like, the really nitty-gritty details of the game that people never bothered to do it back then. Like, everyone had, like, their own strategies that they developed by themselves. I guess that's what made the interviews interesting, because everyone was, like, playing in isolation, and that was, like, the first time everything just came to light.
Yeah. No, well, it was really interesting during the Tricoro era where, like, literally all of the really good old-school players started coming back, and...
Yeah,
you know,
I played for a little bit as well because, well, I know the guy who ran, like, you know, the American...
Yeah, the American
ranking system.
Like yeah.
American ranking system.
Oh,
yeah, so...
Yeah, so I'm just curious, did you come back at all? Because, I mean, yeah, you said you played a little bit.
Yeah, I did some good stuff on there as well. Like, I still believe, like, I had the only full combo on Colors Radio Edit, another on the American ranking system.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. But your score's obviously not on the current one because you haven't played...
Not on the current level, not
because you haven't played Pendulum on an American machine, so...
Yeah, there were times where, like, I had to, like, really focus on school, and I just didn't have the time to play anymore.
Now, I'm actually curious about you saying busy, because you said that you stopped the interview series for going to China. Have you actually played 2DX in China?
Oh, yeah, I did, actually. There was one time when I went to an arcade in Shanghai.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting what happened. Like, there were these 2 girls playing on the machine. I was just, you know, just casually waiting. You know, I walked up, I played and 8, you know, because, you know, a machine with no EMUs, you're forced to play 8, 10, 12. So I'm just like, I'll just play an 8, you know, with your smile. I AAA it, whatever. Play some other song, I AAA it, whatever. My last song, I played Lucy and I AAA it, whatever. And then...
Did you pick up because
people
you're so
just
good?
started to walk away from the machine. Like, they didn't just left me alone, right? So I played a couple more sets, I have the machine to myself.
Yeah.
And I walk away, I see everybody else come back.
They got intimidated by you playing. Oh man, that's so funny. It's interesting. The same thing will happen in Japan, though. I mean, if you're really good and you play on a machine, people will just leave because they don't want to play in front of you. They get really like socially conscious about that. And yeah, I
don't know, man. It's weird, really. I guess it's a totally different culture, like you say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can't get people off my back when I play in public, right? But when I get there, I'm all to myself.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was lucky because you had a machine to yourself. It's good. Did you play? Did you play on a Chinese cabinet or did you play on an official cabinet?
No, it was a bootleg machine, no doubt. It was a serious hard disk installed with the credit hack that got, certain people very pissed off.
Yeah.
About releases. And I guess, since people found that, they're like, okay, we really shouldn't stop doing it,
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll leave well enough alone. It's just, I mean, from what I've heard, I've got a friend in China.
It is what it is.
The community there is very interesting, and I'll chat to you about it later, but we want to keep this about you. We don't want to diverge. Bringing it back. So, I'm curious, since, when you were 13 and stuff, have arcades popped up with 2DX near you now, or are they still just non-existent?
Well, there was actually this time in 2007 where I don't even know why this happened. It seems like the most ridiculous thing ever, but we got the first 2DX Gold test location in the US.
Oh,
and
that
it
was
was
the
like an
Busters one.
Way for me.
Yeah.
So that was like a dream come true to me already.
Yeah.
And that's when I got really motivated to get good as well, because I thought, well, 2DX is finally going to come to the US, right?
Yeah.
But that never happened, obviously.
Never happened.
And then...
Yeah.
So there was also, I guess now, in 2014, we have a round one, and we have one pendulum machine.
Oh.
And there's constantly a line to play it on, the weekends and Fridays.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the scene there has been good. It's really revitalized. Now there's people asking me more about 2DX than there ever was, I don't know, last 5-6 years.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, just the boosting growth, I really do have to hand it to both Round 1 and the people who have helped keep America's scene alive. Mad props to them for doing it.
Yeah.
Because,
definitely is.
And it's also, once again, it was the perfect time, as you said, with your interview series, because Technica died just as that happened. So there was, there's this new game that everyone could migrate to. Good.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Technica did that.
Yeah. So there was a massive influx of people because of that too, which I thought was really good. So a lot of the Technica players also started getting into 2DX. So
I never really expected it, to be honest, because it's a touchscreen game. I figured they'd try something like some game on an iPad, I don't know,
Reflect
UB,
Beat. Yeah, Reflect Beat, UB or something. I mean, I'm sure they play those too, but I mean, 2DX is one of the big arcade games that is network supported now. So yeah, I mean, people sort of move to that instead. So all right, I guess we've done a lot of community chat. Wow, it's been almost 40 minutes of community. We've got to move on to your mentality, man. What kept you going? What kept you striving to get better, and what keeps you going? I mean, are you still playing now? Or have you gotten back into it?
Well, I was talking to you earlier, and I just fixed my controller, so hopefully I'll start playing a bit more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not sure if I'll be playing as much as I did back then, mostly because I have other games that I enjoy playing, I gotta divide my time.
Yeah.
Can't just focus on one. But, yeah. Anyway, to get back to your question, what motivated me to keep playing was, I don't know, it's just... Let me think about that. I think PJ Army, I mean, even though I wasn't really involved in the community at the time, that was still a huge motivator, to see me, see how I ranked against other people, see my scores really go up. That was definitely a motivator. And I guess, watching the Tatsujins, I remember, downloading videos off of Oddity's website
Yeah,
trying to study them for hours, trying to figure out like how these players like respond in situations.
It's kind of a shame you used
wanted to
Oddity's
be like
videos
them.
though, because Oddity's technique was really strange. Like,
Well,
even to this day, I can't really
I
figure it
studied
out.
him, but it was his website. Remember, he had like this website where he had a ton of like
Yeah.
videos of other tatsujins from Japan,
Oh yeah.
and Bimani style as well had that. That was years back though. Oh, my
man,
God.
well you had to
That-
pay.
It's not around anymore.
Yeah. Rip and money style, rip in pieces. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, high level play, obviously. I mean, watching Dolce and stuff like that. But did you have any like serious rivals, like people who kept you going because they were at your level? And I mean, I had Toph back in the day who kept me going.
Oh man. Well, there was that one guy from Chicago I talked to you about.
Yeah.
His name is like Psych 2DX. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No, I haven't.
Don't know. And then there's this other guy. I'm pretty sure you all know him if you follow Poppin.
Yeah.
His name is Nick Randall, or I should say Opiv22.
Yeah, I do know about Nick
Yes. Like, yeah, he's some of the best scoring ability I've ever seen in any music game. Like, he was one of my rivals at the time.
Oh, wow.
Even though during that time period he moved back to Cali, he was originally from Chicago. So occasionally, whenever he'd come back during Christmas or whenever there was ASEN, we'd talk and chat.
Yeah.
And he shared me his rival data. And actually, funny story, he gave me Rai's rival data from Happy
Oh
Sky.
my god, I wouldn't want to see that. I would not want to see that. Was that disgusting to look at?
I want to see that.
I really don't want to, because I saw his first resolution score, which was like, what, sub 10 greats? I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to see the rest of that shit.
I'll just say one thing about his rival data. Remember when you said that people would only want to post their very best scores and not anything else?
Yeah.
Just think along those lines.
Oh, okay, very interesting. Oh, that's very interesting to hear, actually. But yeah.
Might be said anything like that. I just kept it very vague.
Yeah, no, it's good. Tell me about it later. But all right, so
he gave it to me. Don't blame me, right?
Yeah. Let's go with timing versus clearing. So when you were getting better, did you focus more on moving up the difficulty scale, or did you focus more on your timing?
I actually focused mostly on my scoring, to be honest. Like, the thing that mattered to me at the time, I guess, as a teenager or a kid, was like seeing my name up the ranking boards.
Okay, yeah.
And it was kind of a dumb mentality to have back then. I'll probably admit that right now, but that's what I did, and I mean, somehow clearing came along the way. So what I always thought is like, you can focus on one thing. One thing will, the other thing, I guess, if you focus on clearing, then I guess timing will come later on. For me, I guess I focused on timing first, and then clearing came later.
Yeah, see, that's the main reason. Yeah. Sorry, you cut out for like the last sentence. What were you saying?
Oh, I said, like, for the longest time, I was really terrible at clearing songs.
Yeah. See, I did the opposite approach. I went for clearing first, and my timing sort of fell into place from there. And that's the reason why my first AAA was on another, like a level 9 another, not on a Light 7. So, yeah, that's the whole reason, because I focused mostly on clearing, and then scoring just fell in. So, yeah.
I was just like one of the kids on VJ Army, who likes to have, a lot of AAAs, but they were all on L7. It was like quantity over quality, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, it paid off in the end, because now, like, you became a monster at Den Staff towards the end. Like, I remember for a time...
Yeah, that's it.
You were beating Hood on Kamaitachi Black for, like, the longest of times. I remember that. He took his score on it, and he actually had to try really hard to get it back.
Really? Did that happen?
Yeah, you got, like, an 82, and he was like, oh, geez, I've got to actually try and beat that now, and he pulled, like, an 85 or something. But you were, like, quite ahead of him on the leaderboards for a while, I remember. He actually, like, he had to play it for, like, a day to try and beat your score.
I'm not actually sure I recall that happening, but
yeah,
maybe.
No, I remember it. Alright,
okay,
so...
I guess, like, my memory's a little fuzzy, I'm sorry, but I do remember that Kamaitachi Black score happening, and I also said something really dumb on video, where it's like, I, like, selected the song and I left hard on. I'm like, shit, I didn't want a hard on. I exited back and then turned it off and then got that score. And I showed like my life difficulty because I thought the best part was that I cleared the song.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't think much of the score, and everyone was like, "What the hell? Your score is the best part of the video."
Oh, so you didn't actually show the score of it?
Oh no, I did show the score, but I backed out, went to the options menu, and showed the life difficulty.
Oh man. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to ask you is, you got Kaiden, right? You definitely got Kaiden.
Oh yeah, I got Kaiden years back.
Years back.
Long time ago.
I was never ever Kaiden, and I only got it recently. I don't know if... yeah, I did link it to you, because I was like, hyped.
Yeah, you told me.
But, yeah.
Oh.
What do you think of the dance system? This is something I would usually ask people.
What do I think of the dance system? Well, I just think, like, it doesn't really measure your ability accurately as a player. It just measures, like, how well, like, I guess you can clear stuff or combo stuff, which I like to say is, like, you know how... It measures how well you can abuse the timing system in your favor, is how I put it.
Yeah,
like, if you know how to hit, like, within, like, the early great window, you can combo so much stuff in the game really easily.
Yeah.
Like, there's... You know what I'm talking about, right? It's a little hard to explain.
Unmitsu and things like that, yeah. That can get you through. Like, I've seen people unmitsu all of May with, like, no problems. Yeah, I saw the video. It was Silent who made the video, and he, like, animitsu'd it on non-random and full comboed it, didn't he? Yeah. So it is possible to unmitsu it and full combo it, which is just dumb. I don't know if you... I was actually going to ask you, but did you see the video of someone animitsuing Mendes Black and full comboing it on CS? Yes. It's disgusting. That was legit, right? I didn't know if that was real. Oh, that's legit. That's legit. People can do it. It's just like... It's one way that the game's broken. So, yeah, and I mean, I see a lot of people... I'm not going to name any names, but I've seen some people who do Kaiden by unmitsuing through the middle of May and stuff like that. And I just sort of think, well, you know, this is how some people get through it, then it's no wonder that Kaiden doesn't really mean much anymore. Well, for me, it was like, during that time, I was practicing May a lot, and I was like, you know, I probably could do this. Why not give it a shot? And then, you know, I just played it once, did it, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I didn't think much of it, like, I didn't think it was a big deal. I just was like, okay, I suffered through May non-random. I should go back to doing something that means more, which is like getting a good score on May. Yeah, exactly. That was and I value my AA over May much more than Kaiden, honestly. Yeah, for sure. That was my thought process. Yeah. So, no, I'm glad we're on the same page, because back when I was 10th Dan doing these interviews, I'd have to keep making the point. See, guys, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter anymore, because I'm Kaiden, so... I think Rai is the biggest example of that, isn't he? Like, he's amazing at all of this, like, scoring stuff, and people just sweep it under the rug, like, oh, you don't have Kaiden, like, you're not good at the hard stuff. I mean, give me a break. Well, I mean, that's the thing as well. Like, I hard cleared all of Sparta. I had all of Sparta, like, 8 and above, and, yeah, I wasn't Kaiden. So, just makes no sense, you know? It's like... Yeah, when you got to play like that, that's a 10th Dan. It kind of goes to show that that system's kind of broken. It doesn't really mean much. No, it really doesn't. Alright, so we'll move on from that. Let's talk about some of the options you use. Now, in the videos, you've got a couple of hand shots. But, yeah, I mean, I noticed on your early video, your distorted Quasar, where you 888 it, you were playing Claw on the left hand. That video's so old. I know. Yeah. I had to get footage from somewhere. But, yeah, how did your technique progress as you played? Because obviously technique's a big part of it. Oh, okay. I remember I started with claw style. Yeah. Which I guess if you don't know, it's just using your left ring, left middle, left index to cover 1, 2, and 3, and then, like, your right hand covers 4, 5, 6, 7. That was how I did it, like, from 2004. Because I saw a post from C-Star player who posted it, and he had, like, all the #1 ranked scores on all these songs. I'm like, oh, this guy is the best playstyle, I'll copy him. Even though, obviously at the time I didn't know of Rai or anybody else. Yeah. Yeah, because
I played like that for years, right?
Yeah.
And then I got an ASC, and I discovered like you couldn't do that anymore.
No,
so what I did was I added my left thumb.
Yeah.
And I kind of played this weird style like Pekasai or Hori, where he would just move his left thumb to cover like 1 and 3.
You know, there's still players who do that and are ridiculously good. Like, I don't know if you watched Top Ranker recently, but Mitsuba does. Yeah, Mitsuba does that. And
really,
I saw him get.
I remember seeing his video, and I thought he was just doing Toshio style, but I guess I wasn't watching.
No. I'll send you a link to some of the more recent ones he's done. He does that index across 1 and 3. Sorry, thumb across 1 and 3, or 5 and 7 because he's 2P, and that's all he does. And he gets like 92s hard clears on May. It's like, what the hell? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, I guess I was a scrub then, because I remember, like, I was like, this wasn't gonna cut it when I saw like DJ TCS come out, and I saw the Black and Others and box up. I was like, oh, no thanks. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
like, time to air black, doing that, you're using your left index to cover 1 and 3. It seemed a little shaky to me.
Yeah. So, what happened from there? Like, what did you start playing after that?
Well, I think around that time I sold my ASC, and so I didn't have a controller for a while.
You're like, I can just build one, it'll be fine.
And also, there's actually something that messed up that happened. Like, I don't know if you can see this in the web camera, but
you got a scar.
If you can see the scar I have here.
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, that was from. That was from when I was trying to AAA Scorpion Fire Another. And I was like, come on, I can really do it. And then it started hurting really badly. I'm like, okay, I'll really stop, because it was hurting me really bad.
Yeah.
And then I woke up with a cyst growing here.
Oh, jeez.
And I had to go and get that cut out from a surgeon.
Yikes.
Most expensive song I ever played in my life.
Damn, did you ever get it? Did you ever?
No, I never got it.
Oh, no.
I'm a So, after that surgery happened, right?
Yeah.
I was like, my right hand isn't as mobile. I gotta make my left hand more useful. So I started practicing Toshio style.
Yeah.
Right? And how I would practice it, like, I remember you said, like, how do people do 1-3 rolls with their left hand in Toshio style?
Yeah, you saw me practicing.
I would just sit in class and roll my left index and left thumb in class. Whenever I was listening to my professor talk about, stuff I didn't care about, I'll just tap on the desk.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
So you just constantly tapped 1 and 3. So
yeah, just 1 and 3, and then like mix some other patterns, notes in. Just did that, and that worked out for me. And that's when I decided to try wrist scratching, because nobody else was doing it. I figured, okay, I'll be the first sucker. I'll be the one to do it.
Yeah, I noticed, and then I thought you were about to scrub.
How far I can go, right?
But it worked, because I saw you do ridiculous stuff after that. Like, when you started getting double A's and, like, BFU Black, and obviously the eyes hard clear non-random with the double A, that's just, like, that's some disgusting stuff.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw eyes for the first time, I was like, there's no way you can do this. And then I saw Dolce play it, and he just skips the scratches. I'm just like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Well, it is doable. You just gotta be really, really fast. That's the thing.
I guess, yeah. If someone like Dolce...
have you seen Toshio do it?
I have not seen him do that.
Toshio doesn't wrist scratch. He does full static Toshio Shiki, and then his pinky's so flexible that he just scratches like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to see a video of trying
once again, I'll send it to you after this, but yeah, it is possible. It's just, he said you either have to be flexible enough or you need to be fast enough to handle that sort of pattern.
I guess I wasn't either. That's why I picked up wrist scratch.
Well, regardless, that's when you like really shot off. Like, you got so good after you started wrist scratching, I remember. But yeah, obviously now we've got a lot more wrist scratches in the community. We've got Hexagon, who's just a massive fraud, and we've got Derek, who's, basically top ranker tier. So, I don't know, would you recommend for people to do wrist scratching?
It definitely makes the game, it helps you a lot with clearing the song.
Sorry, you're cutting out, man. You there? Ooh, sorry, Velius has started cutting out. I don't know why. Internet connection problem. Yeah, no, we've just lost Velius. Damn, this has never happened during an interview, and this is really annoying. Like, it's literally the first time that this has happened. So I apologize, guys. I'll try and get him back. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Hang on. I'll try and get him back. Yeah, this is the first time this has happened, so I'm really sorry, guys. Usually it just goes smoothly and it's not a problem, so... Yeah. Rip Velius' internet. I hope he's still there. No answer. Oh, this is a problem. Hold on. Okay, you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
Are we good now?
I think we're good. All right.
All right. So what was I getting at?
Wrist scratching.
Wrist
Sorry.
scratching, right. I was saying like how it kind of makes the game a little boring at times.
Yeah.
Because you just keep your hands static. You're not actually moving your hands. So it's kind of like you're not even thinking about how the chart is like flowing because you can just hit every pattern.
Yeah.
Without really much thought.
Okay.
So that's what I try to like fix basically. Is like I'm trying to make the game a little more fun and interesting to me. That's just the way I look at it.
Oh, okay. No worries. Well, so now that you're playing, are you still wrist scratching, or have you swapped back to being freeform again, or something like that?
I'm working on trying to stop wrist scratching. It's kind of like if you do it for so long, you forget how to play properly, and that's like what I realized when I'm playing is like I'm not sure like how to react to certain situations anymore.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I think that there's definitely a time. There's gonna definitely take some time to like progress from like not wrist scratching, I'd say, and trying to make my right hand like cover 5 keys.
Oh yeah, no, that's a tough one. Bringing the thumb across, it takes a long time to get that comfortable, and yeah, like I had to practice it.
I used to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Obviously on denture stuff, there's just I couldn't do it at all.
Yeah, it's you basically got to go full static for dent stuff, I think, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, seeing as your internet is starting to get a little bit shaky, I think I'll try and I'll speed the interview along and see if we can get this done without your internet cutting out.
I'm so sorry about that, everybody.
No, it's all right. First, it's a first for everything, and it's not a big deal. I just had to call you back. So what about your green and white numbers? What do you use at home, and what do you use at the arcade?
Let's see. I mean, during my prime, I guess, I was reading around 270, 276 green number. I never really paid attention to the white number.
Oh, okay.
As long as it was low enough for me to see, it was fine.
Oh, okay.
I guess if I were to say a number, it'd probably be around like 420.
Oh, wow, okay. So it's really low.
Smoke up.
Oh, dear.
I would say that would be my white number.
Oh, okay, so wow, that's
Around
pretty fast, actually. Did you use the same sort of settings at the arcade?
Try to. I have to add lift off because I can't just look down on the screen because I'm too tall.
That's right. You did mention that you're quite tall and you need to power stance.
Yeah, I need a power stance a lot, but yeah, I have kind of like the similar setup, I guess. I keep my green number kind of lowish, like 300 to 290 sometimes.
Yeah.
I dip a little past that, like 286, 287, depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I guess the more I play, the faster I might read, but I might stop doing that so I can actually learn to react better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, well, I mean, I had to drop from, 275 down to 290 when I started again. And I was comfortable at 290 for years, and then now just gradually I've gone back to 277. But that's because I'm on the same machine and the same settings all the time.
Yeah, and
so.
then you start to get used to it.
Yeah, so I'm used to having a bit of a lower number, but, I normally tell people don't go any lower than 260. It's just, stupid reading that fast, because at that point, you can't time accurately.
Unless you're, Madoka.
Yeah, unless you're Madoka.
266.
But the reason why he does it is because he's got such a low white number. Like, he compensates with it with a low white number, I
Yeah.
think. So,
Okay, that's kind of similar to what I do. Like,
yeah.
I'd say you read around the same white number. Of course, I'm nowhere near as good as him, but
Yeah. No, well, yeah.
yeah.
You'll get there, I reckon. Alright, so, big issue because, yeah, we are a bit stressed for time just because I don't want to keep people up too long because people have work and stuff. BMS. Now, this is a big one because I know that you interviewed Batfly and we were talking about this before the interview. When did you start getting into BMS?
I'd say around like 2008-ish is when I first heard about it. When I messaged Batfly on MSN, I talked with I was about it. He showed me the links, and we started to get to trade tips and stuff in 2DX and scores,
Yeah.
discussion, things like that. So he showed me, how to download the files, which was a huge, tedious process. And
Yeah, wasn't
I
easy.
made a post about it on BJ Army, telling people about it, and yeah, that's how it goes.
Okay, I don't know if people... Sorry, I don't know if you're coming through or not on the speakers. Hold on a sec. Guys, can you hear VELIUS at the moment? Because I don't know...
I can hear you, though.
Yeah, you can hear me, but I don't know if it's coming through on the stream. Someone just asked if his speakers are broken, but... I don't know. Is VELIUS still coming through?
Yeah.
Okay, no, you are. It's fine. Alright, that's fine. Okay, someone's speakers are broken then. Okay, so... where were we? Alright, BMS. So... Yeah, that's the timer saying it's been an hour. Alright, so obviously BMS, you introduced that to a few people. Once again, as I said, you influenced Gokun to get into BMS massively and stuff like that. Do you feel like you sort of brought BMS into like a broader audience at that point? Because obviously LR2 was relatively new at that stage. Or, well, people weren't really playing it on a regular basis or didn't know much about it.
Well, I was the first to get word about it, but people still didn't really have the setup to try it.
Yeah.
Or if some of the top players tried it and thought, oh, the charts are really stupid, which, let's face it, some of them are really stupid. Just went back to regular 2DX because that was obviously a more fun of a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured I'd get the word out there, and I posted the links, and even though I tried playing BMS for a while, but I found it way too hard.
Yeah.
Even though it kind of helped me get better as a player, after a while, just like, you know what, 2DX is much more fun of a game. This is way too frustrating, and I kind of rage quit it. But
Really?
I guess if I were to go back, I'd try again.
Yeah?
Because
Oh,
it
that's
helps
interesting.
me, it's kind of like you're lifting a really heavy weight in the gym
Yeah.
versus like actually just playing the sport. Obviously, playing the sport is going to be more fun than just going to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of people I've spoken to have said they do both. Like higher ranking players. Like Derek plays BMS,
Yeah.
obviously. DJ Nori, who I don't know if you've seen or not, he's massively into BMS as well. And he said he can't imagine 2DX without BMS. But that being said, I don't play BMS, and I think I'm doing reasonably well. So, it really depends.
Yeah, it really depends if you want to do it or not.
Yeah. Alright, and finally, just like it's a 2-minute thing, what about doubles? Have you played doubles much?
Yeah, I have. I actually want to get more into doubles. I was around like an 8th Dan, 9th Dan level. I AAA'd like 211s on double.
Oh, wow.
I had to stop playing double because obviously, I got too busy with real life, but I want to get back into it.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a lot of potential to get good at double, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Just really quick, did you ever play piano or anything?
Did I ever play piano? Well, I took lessons as a kid like a couple times, but I never learned anything, and I didn't care at all about piano. I wanted to go and play my N64. I was like, screw this. This sucks.
Oh, same thing. It's just... A lot of people have asked me before whether, musical ability comes into being a good player, and I normally tell them no, it doesn't. And, Phoenix is testament to that. Because the guy's an absolute monster at the game, and he hasn't got any musical background. So, yeah, no, it's good to hear that you fall in the same boat. And, you don't have to be a musical genius or something like that to be good at 2DX. It is just about, like, that perseverance, right?
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to be like Fnatic or CRH.
No, obviously not. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll stop it there. I mean, we've basically covered all the topics I wanted to cover. And once again, thank you for taking the time out to do this. And sorry that I botched it up with university and stuff like that. You know,
Oh, I'm sorry for my internet cutting out.
it's alright. You know, shit happens. No big deal. So I'll throw it to the chat now, guys. If you have any questions for DJ VELIUS, feel free to link them in the chat. I'm sure he can see the chat too, but I'll read them out to him and ask. There was one from before which I wanted to ask. Don't you use different numbers, green numbers, depending on the song? So do you change your green number?
I'm actually trying to experiment with that when playing at the arcade, because I have this theory.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has much weight, but depending on the song, like songs from a different style, I feel are synced differently.
I haven't
Like,
noticed it. Sorry to say.
I feel like Resort Anthem, like I get like a ton of slows whenever I play a song. Like
That's
relatively
interesting.
the same BPM from a different folder, so I have to like lower. I have to like up my green numbers, so I can hit earlier. I mean, it might just be me, but I mean that's, you know, because I've been so out of the game, and maybe it is just me. Maybe it is because I suck, but that's the way that's
Okay.
what I'm thinking.
No worries. Yeah, well, I actually did a video all about that. Well, about shifting green numbers and stuff like that. I haven't noticed the sync thing. I know that the timing got completely normalized in Tricoro, so everything is 2 frames. So the window should be in the same place, regardless of the sync. So, yeah.
I mean, DDR players talk about it all the time, about sync. I guess those players are the most anal about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, just, I don't know. Like, I don't really notice it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's an interesting one from Donovan, DJ Bukake. If you walked away from 2DX completely, what is your accomplishment that you can look back and feel satisfied leaving the game with?
That's a tough question.
It is, yeah.
Well, I don't really think too much about my scores, per se. It's just more like, you know, I feel like, from what everyone's told me, you know, I was a relatively positive influence overall, even though I was kind of a dumb kid back then. I said a lot of stupid stuff, got on a lot of people's nerves, you know, at the end, you know, I was a positive influence, I think, in some small fashion, I'd say. And I think that's good enough for me.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, I would agree with that entirely. If I looked back now, I'd just say, well, look, I've contributed to this community in, you know, a decent way. You know, I've given them information and that sort of thing. Like, you know, I've left my mark. You know, I've got the videos there for all time for people to see. And like, if people want that information, they can always go to those videos to find it. And I think you did a similar thing with the interview series back in 2009. You know, it's a big part, and you know, it's something that people can still go back and look at. And also, Donovan thinks that you
gotta get back to the community.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because the community's done amazing things for me too. Like, especially when I was in Japan, I got a lot more involved with it, and it's been a big payoff. Like, it's one of the best music game communities I've ever been part of, and you know, I stick that to that to this day. Like, I've made some really good friends through 2DX, and you know, and hoping that sticks around for years to come. Also, Milk-chan thinks that you thought he was an idiot during the VJ Army days.
Did I? If I did, I'd like to apologize. I'm really sorry. I was probably an idiot as well.
Alright.
I think we were all too full of ourselves back then with our egos.
Oh, well, yeah. Once again, same with me. I was a dumb kid, and I was like, yeah, I'm better than all these people. Duh. But, yeah, obviously, you know, I grew out of that, too.
It's part of growing up, right? You look back at yourself and think, wow, I was really dumb back then. It's part of life, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so another one from DJ Bukake or Donovan Milk-chan. How in touch are you with the top players of the US community today?
Not really in touch with them per se. Like
We talk sometimes, I guess. Like, you know, maybe once every 2 weeks, I guess.
I was on a Hood stream like a couple months ago, and I talked with him for a little bit, and then I talked with Oddity.
Yeah.
He was in Hood's chat. But I don't really keep in too much in contact with the 2DX community, I'm afraid. I mean, I just got invited to the group, so maybe you'll see me around more.
Yeah, no, well, if you start posting scores and make yourself known, then yeah, absolutely. Like, people would still chat to you. No, I was
Yeah.
happy that you got in contact with me after like my streams and stuff, because obviously we wouldn't be doing this interview if not for that. So, you know, really glad.
Yeah.
And you know, like you are an influential person in the community. You should keep at it because the community is still growing. I mean, not a lot, but not compared to like the boom back in 2012, but it's still growing, and there's still new people coming to the game, and you do have a lot of insight. You're still one of the stronger West Coast players, so.
You mean Western Hemisphere?
Yeah, no.
West Coast.
Oh, you're not West Coast. Oh, not West Coast. I mean, just Western players,
Yeah.
I guess. So.
Hemisphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to get more. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You want to get more involved?
I was gonna say I wanted to get more involved with my local community.
Yeah.
Because we got round one, we got a lot of new players coming in, or people who want to get better. So I want to help them out.
Oh, that's excellent. No, I know it'd be really good. Sorry, I had a bit of a stutter. It'd be really good to see you do that.
A few people kept that in it, right? So then everyone else is trying to get
Yeah.
into the game. So I have all this knowledge. So
Yeah, no,
I might as well impart it.
it's all about the knowledge, you know. All right, so one from Sigreen, who's actually Matt's son, DJ Phoenix's like protege. What's your favorite style?
What's my favorite style?
Yeah.
Such a hard one.
It is, isn't
Asking
it?
all the hard questions. I'd say I'd say either red or a happy sky.
Red or Happy Sky? Interesting. I liked Red a lot. Happy Sky I wasn't a huge fan, because that's when the game kind of got a bit retarded. You know, with Blue Mirage and May and all of those dumb charts where you're just like, no, I can't touch
You're
these.
just talking CS though.
Yeah.
I mean, just the CS.
No.
I'd say I was mostly into red.
Yeah, Red was really fantastic, I feel. Like, when that came out, that was awesome.
The game amazed me when I was, 13, when I first saw the game.
Yeah.
I was playing DDR, I'm like, if only DDR looked this good.
It looks fantastic. Like, the aesthetics change from, like, 9th to Red. Just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Huge. Yeah. Like, I agree with you entirely. It was very revolutionary. It was the, what was it? The revolutionary something, energized something. Like, Red stood for something. I don't remember exactly.
Revolutionized, energized, diversion or something?
Yeah, it was so dumb, but I was like, yeah, revolutionary. Like, that's all I remember, just the R part of it. Alright, another one from Matt's son. Have you been playing Pendule recently?
Yeah, well, I try to play Pendle any time I get the chance. When I'm in university, I'm 4 hours away from the round one.
Oh, man.
When I'm home, I always try to go.
Oh, that's good.
It's kind of hard for me because I don't have a car. I have to always hitch rides with people.
Oh, man, that sucks.
But I get the chance. I do go and play there. I got about 20 plays on my EMU's card.
Ooh, 20 plays!
Oh my god, 20 plays!
It's a lot. It's not 420 plays, but it's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, people are amazed that you have to drive 4 hours to play 2DX, because, I mean, a lot of the people watching at the moment, I'm guessing, are from, Cali or Vegas, or have a machine relatively close to them, so... Yeah, no, really lucky.
I wish so much I was that, man. Oh my god, I have to struggle to go and play.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's worth it, because from what I hear, the cabinet's brand new, right? It's a Chikoro generation cabinet. And those have the best timing, well, in terms of I/O responsiveness and the monitor.
Yeah, it took me a while to get used to, using the timing adjust to find the timing.
Yeah. Speaking of which, where is your timing adjust on the Chikoro monitor? Because those are really late, overall.
Yeah.
What do you use?
I use plus 0.3, I think.
Yeah, that's what I use, actually. Yeah, exactly the same, the Chikoro one. So my CS timing is not that off. I'm glad. So what were you saying?
The only thing that gets to me about those cabinets, it's unneeded complication for the newer player. The newer player isn't gonna know about timing adjust. They're gonna be struggling to hit the keys.
Well, that's why they've got the That's why they've got the 3 menu types. So they've got the beginner, intermediate, and advanced menus in Chikoro.
Yeah, but it's you want them to know what the timing is off the top of the beds. So
well, to be fair, with AC, it doesn't really matter anymore. because you can set the window to whatever you want. Like, it would have been a big deal
that's
in
like,
the past, but...
People ask me, like, oh, what window should I set it to? I don't know. My timing's always off. And I'm just like, if only there was, like, some, like, sort of standard, you know? Like,
I've actually set a standard. I know now across the monitors, like, a rough standard relative to CS.
Yeah.
And I've created a list. But, yeah, most people are like, yeah, I don't know. And even then, there's still a big difference in the monitors. Like, there's still different types of Tricoro monitors and stuff. And it gets complicated. But, if I get...
I wish someone, like... Go ahead.
I was trying to compile a list and try and make, like, a Western 2-deader, where it's got all the machines listed and all the offsets listed. So that people could go, okay, relative to a cabinet, which is, you know, like a CRT, where you know the timing's bang on. Like, say CRT's 0, you can go relative to the CRT timing. So say you use -3, like I do on the CRT. You can go and say, okay, from that window, it's like plus 0.7 or minus 0.7 or whatever. Like, you can actually tell relative to the CRT timing. So I've got that list coming up, but obviously I need someone who can host it and someone who can make me a map or something like that to make it relative.
Interesting.
So yeah, no, I'm working on that. But yeah, like there are ways, and you know, you can tell from word of mouth. Like I asked the Japanese players when I went to an area I didn't know what's the timing like on these machines, and they go, oh, that one's a bit early, that one's a bit late, etc. So you can get a rough idea of what kind of monitor it is.
Yeah.
That and the Tricoro ones are like ridiculously bright. Like
yeah, even in Future Phase, the game was really bright.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I've got like my own custom monitor because I can adjust the brightness on it. So, phew.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so we're hitting like the hour 15 mark. Are there any last questions for VELIUS? We've probably got time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions before we wrap this up. So I'm trying to keep them relatively short because I mean, with some of the interviews, I've made them go for like almost 2 hours, and people are like, yeah, it's too much. So roughly an hour and a bit of question time, I feel is like the best. So yeah, any last questions, guys? I'm not seeing anything. Well, I mean, we have covered like a good amount of stuff, so I'm pretty happy. Is there anything you wanted to add before we finish?
Not really, I guess. It's getting really late. I probably should go to bed.
Yeah. No, that's the main thing. Like, I know it's getting late for you, and
yeah, it's the Midwest here, so it's 12:15.
Wow, yeah, no, don't want to keep you up much longer. So, yeah, I guess we'll call it a day. So, thank you so much for joining. By the way, I know
Thank you for having me.
I know it was a bit spur of the moment. Like, we were just chatting, and I was like, well, you know, we should do an interview. It'd be fun, you know, like just out of the blue. So.
And like, yeah, it sounds fine to me.
But no, it's been really fun. Once again, I hope that you do get more involved. Like, as I said, the game's still growing and the community's still growing, and you were a big part of the old community, so having you back in would be a big thing and really enjoyable, I think. So yeah.
My best.
Yeah, alright. So yeah, well, your video's just cut out. Are you still there?
Oh, I accidentally clicked it.
Oh, that's alright. So just final thing, I've covered a lot of players now with this interview series. Are there any players that you'd still be interested in hearing from in this interview series?
Well, I'd like to hear from the Japanese players for obvious reasons, but the language barrier makes it difficult.
Well, that's the thing. I found one guy who's in the top 100, DJ Nori. He speaks English.
And he wants to do one?
And
wow,
he's a bit nervous. He's a bit nervous, but I want to try and coax him into doing an interview with me. And I mean, if we could just work through the language barrier, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm really excited, and hopefully that'll happen in the future. Because Nori's an incredibly good player. Like, he's better than anyone in the US.
I would love to hear from him, and I guess if you couldn't get him, then I'd like to hear from a newcomer.
A newcomer.
It's probably a good idea to highlight, the newcomer.
Well, we do have two.
Like
we do have 2 very skilled players who have just come out of nowhere. Their names are Megeki and oh god, what's Adrian's name again? I can't remember what Adrian's name is. What's Adrian's DJ name, guys? Nerid, that's the one. So we've got Megeki and Nerid, who I was thinking of doing a joint interview with, because they're both Kaiden level players. Megeki's beating me on some songs, which is ridiculous. Like, he's really good. And I reckon in the next year he's going to overtake me. He's just got so much natural talent. In 3 years, he's already caught up to me almost. But yeah, so they're on my list. I've got Nori on the list, and also maybe someone like I don't know, DJ Blee. I know that he was interested in doing one. So those are the three.
As much as I hate to say it, I think he'd be a great candidate.
Oh, the thing is, I had a chat to him on one of his streams, and he's actually a very insightful guy, and I think he'll bring a lot to the table. Yeah, money match interview. Yeah, so, I mean, that's what I got planned. Obviously, guys, if you're interested in hearing any of those, let me know in the video comments on YouTube, because this will go on YouTube, or just on Facebook, and I'll get it happening. But, yeah, once again, thank you so much for joining us, VELIUS. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the interview.
Yeah. And, yeah, no, I'll see you guys in the next 2DX interview. Bye-bye for now.